Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. Well, there have been quite a number of questions that have come through in the last few days, and so some of you will have to wait, but I'm going to theme them for this episode under the theme of purpose, because after all, purpose is something that people have been searching for their whole lives. You know, how can I be of purpose? What should I be doing? What should my life be like? So the wonderful thing about this channel is that we can go into specific examples using human design and have a look and see if we can open things up in a way that is not obvious. Hello, Richard. I've been watching your videos for about a year now, and while I'm learning a lot, I don't seem to be getting any wiser regarding what I'm here to do in this world and life. I know a little about many things. I'm rubbish at networking and marketing, selling stuff. I hate the corporate world, but can't seem to make a successful living being self-employed either. It's very rare anyone asks my advice on anything, even in my closest circles. I can't see myself doing extensive studies anymore. I was a media analyst in a consulting company for 13 years, then a ceramicist for the past 10 years. I've studied interior design and learned leatherwork, glass fusing, community management. I like using my hands, while computer work can quickly become exhausting. Due to my own health issues, I've become interested in healing and well-being in general. I've started to do voluntary work at my hospital as a peer support person. I've even had thoughts of maybe training in this field, but now I'm questioning that with my open emotional center. Is there anything you see in my chart that could indicate which way to go in my search for meaningful and successful professional life? I know I'm currently not in my optimal environment, which should be external markets. I'm in a very small town in a literal valley. Well, what a conundrum. That's quite a conundrum, isn't it? You are a projector. You are here to be able to guide. And despite having the entrepreneur channel in you, and that's being your only channel, it's fixed in the second line. So there are natural gifts that you're probably unaware of, and you don't want to get into the whole corporate thing of selling products. It just doesn't turn you on. In fact, I suspect what really turns you on is just to be playful, to be pottering around, doing what you do, not wanting to be concerned about the world, being there in your own bubble. We've got someone who is here to be an external market. So yes, living in a literal valley with very few people is not a good position for you. However, we do see you going out to work at the hospital in a volunteer role. We see you going out and mixing with people. Your direction in life is moving towards more of a communalist direction. And you're already playing that out, except, you know, it's not going to help you financially as a volunteer. So if you want to have your own life in your own way, we have to think of something else. And indeed, you know, you don't want to get exhausted in the work that you do. However, as a projector with a second line, in fact, many second lines, I think you've got 6, play is the thing, play. So I would suggest you might be very good at working with children. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about small children, although that could be the case. That's up to you. This is part of a dialogue I would normally have in a professional analysis, and we would look into all kinds of things. But off the top of my head, I would say, look, if you love using your hands, if you have this natural ability to work with people in some way, shape, or form, not as an expert, you're not a first line, not as someone who is coming with their experience of making money in the world and selling products, no, but as someone who is actually already putting her energy into making something. Now, we can see from the 44th gate that you're here to fulfill your life through people, through relating and relationships. So being in your own bubble can be too tight. It's not really going to work for you. It hasn't worked for you. But I tell you, the way AI is progressing so fast these days, I would like you to go into an AI-proof occupation. And the one thing that AI cannot do is actually work with people in groups to actually teach them various things, to teach the crafts that you've learned, to work with those that need to know. Sometimes it might even be at a survival level, making clothes when things begin to break down, making things go further, longer, making new things from bits and pieces that have been left around that could be made into something beautiful or useful. So leather work, making and ceramics, making your own utensils. There's a lot of people that will want to know how to do that. Do not underestimate the gifts that you've got to be able to be of service to people. In fact, I think you might find that very enjoyable. And I do think that people would pay to learn these things. And when I say people, I mean people, but specifically those younger people who are looking for a career, who have got gifts and like using their hands too, but they need someone up close and personal to them to help them through it. Perfect for you. You've got an open throat. You know, you're here to measure manifestation. What is done and what is not done, what is said and what is not said. You know, you're here to take in the other deeply and just let your natural spontaneity with the will going into the spleen, that improvisation that you have in you while you're working with the people. It could be a lot of fun. I think everyone would find it very rewarding. It would certainly lift your will. It would show you that, yes, you know, you are being of benefit to these people. You have got a warm heart. You have got the ability to transmit and to guide them in doing certain things. And you've got a throat and the rest of you that's open, which will bring in lots of other things. You know, there's many things you could turn your attention to. And that might depend on who's in front of you. You know, what do they want to learn? Is it of interest to you? Have you already got experience in it? You're here to learn from the lessons of history. And in this case, experiential history. You're here with a management capacity to be able to know the kind of types of people or children that you're dealing with, to get them into some kind of team effort. The 19 line 4 in you is the team player, you know, so it's not you all the time, but in your external markets, going out into the world, you know, getting people to make really good products. You might even make a whole community shop based on what they make and have a platform for that, or get someone else to organize the platform for that if it's going to involve computers and whatever, if that's not your thing, which it clearly isn't. There are many benefits from thinking in this way. So off the top of my head, that's what I would suggest. See if that's something that you feel invited to, and see where you can begin to do that in your own community. But you've got to get to the community. It's no point living in a tiny valley when you've got this kind of design. You need the mixing with other people, and here to be of service, to teach them practical skills. Wonderful. So that's what I think. I hope that's been helpful. Thank you for your question. All right, then. So our next question is from Laurie. This is her question. I am 62 and entered my HD experiment 4 years ago. I don't wish to sound overdramatic, but I feel that this knowledge has possibly saved my life, as I have lived my whole adult life as if I was a manifesting generator. I have been burnt out and exhausted so much of my life. I had much chronic illness, resulting in being hospitalized when I was 50, and have spent the last decade trying to get well with changes to diet, lifestyle, and also working with EFT and the like. However, I feel that HD knowledge was the missing piece, and I'm grateful for it every day. Good for you. I'm finally learning to live at my own pace. I love learning everything about HD and have looked at many charts, but my own still puzzles me in places, particularly regarding to my purpose, my incarnation cross, and what the fourth quarter is about. It feels a bit vague. Also the nodes. How do the nodes of the personality and design work together? My one channel is a tribal one, and it's true that while I was raising a family, I felt I had purpose, which now I'm struggling to find. I've always been a deeply contemplative and spiritual seeker, and feel that now more than ever. But I think I never valued that side of myself as worthwhile because it was not productive like the rest of my busy, conditioned life. The last decade has taken me deep into my own self-development, but I still value to validate this as a productive purpose. Okay, Laurie, so let's have a look at the chart and see. You're born on the cross of Maya, which is really kind of bringing for your side, bringing in the inspiration into the Maya, bringing the new into the Maya through your inspired and natural brilliance in the 61-2. That's your side of the Maya. It comes from the quarter of mutation. It comes from the quarter of transformation. So for you, the purpose is fulfilled through transformation. Transformation of yourself, as in your work with personal development, transformation of others in terms of the way that you brought up your family. Now, if we look at the chart, we see there is only one channel, the channel of community. And as you said yourself, you had purpose when you were raising a family. So now, in the last 10 years, as you've been looking into your own work, and we know that the channel of community is a part seeking a whole, which is ironic, really, because you are a single definition, so you're quite independent. So how can we bring this together? Well, you're going to continue your personal development because that's built into you to do. But to make it productive, I suggest maybe you use that channel that you don't know you have, because half of it's red and half of it's black. You don't identify with community. And yet at the same time, you've had experience raising your own family. And I've no doubt you've seen the way other people have raised their families in not such a good way. If we look at the nodes are the road that we walk along. And there we see the 31 line 4 in detriment. So leaders that are not perceived to be good leaders. There's a negative connotation there in terms of leadership. And the conscious side of this north node in the 56 line 4 is expediency. The gift of stimulation as a role and protection. And your nodes are all fourth line. So it involves people. It involves small groups. It involves friends and family. So it occurs to me that maybe you might be interested in combining your knowledge of human design with family constellation work. I mean, after all, at 62, you have attained to the kind of mentor age, you know, and you can be a mentor in knowing how all the games play out in people. You are very open. You've taken a lot of things in. You're 3 times right. I suspect that if you got involved with family constellation work and you had other people there playing the different family members that the client has a problem with, a lot would come out. And especially, you know, you would see transformation and it would come out from other people. You know, there's this ability to benefit from the understanding of others, you know, as they're all involved in a group. It's a wonderful system. It's a wonderful therapy. And I think you'd be pretty good at it, especially with your knowledge of human design. And of course, you can still be productive and earn money through that as well. That might lead to you writing things, blogs or vlogs or something, getting out something in order to be able to help families in these mutative times. The 61 is a mutative pulsic knowing that comes in to change the Maya, and the Maya is being changed right now. You know, we're all dealing with the effects of the changes of the government crackdowns everywhere in the world, and AI, and the uncertainty of everything, and especially to do with families. You know, the way that people have been conditioned in the last few decades has really taken them away from a sense of community. You know, it's lacking. It needs to be healed. It needs somebody to go in there and bring that out. You know, go into the pain, let it come out, let them realize what's really be going on in their own lives as individuals, if they're adults. And if you're working directly with families, then it's more of a how can we change things? What is the insight that comes through that can really make the difference to that family? But mainly it's going to be adults with different unresolved issues coming to you, and you playing it out in a kind of dramatic way in front of them, letting it play out as different representations of the family come up and play that role for that time. It's very powerful work. And the other thing about family constellation work, as with human design, there is a certain magic in it. It's amazing what can happen. The realizations not only for the people that are playing the roles, but also for the other people, around the circle, watching what's going on, feeding into what's going on. It's something that you yourself will be doing if you're there. Your cognition is feeling to tap into the things that have not been said, that need to be said. Perhaps even the confrontations that need to be had, the things that need to be spoken that are getting in the way because they've never been spoken, and perhaps the parent in the particular example is dead, so you can't resolve it. But you can in that moment. You can with those people in that crucible of attention. Yeah, I think you might find that very interesting. So that's what I think. I think that might be something to look into. And again, I can't dialogue with you because it's a YouTube video, but that's what occurs to me. All right. I hope that's been helpful. Thanks for the question. And for our final question, a question from S. This is her question. Although I look deeply into my design, have purchased an advanced reading from your website, and have listened to many of your videos, it doesn't seem to equip me for the fallout I feel coming off the roof as a 6-2 manifesting generator. My mother was a heavy drinker, and I have struggled with addiction, finally getting complete sobriety almost 10 years ago. Good for you. I am now in my 6th year of human design, which just came as I entered Chiron, but I really feel my family is scattering to my core as I look towards life on my own. I truly feel very tender, and I am unsure how to continue, considering they no longer really know me. And although I am different and have been strong all my life, my heart feels vulnerable moving forward. Could you please give me some encouragement for me, as I feel unsure about things, and I wanted healing for my family? Thank you. Okay, yes, and you've asked me to keep your name and chart out of this response, which is, creates some tension because I want the viewers to learn as much as possible. And if I have a chart there, I can specifically show where the information's coming from. But there again, you are here with the Chiron cross of tension. So in a way, it is natural that you would do this. And I accept. But I must say something about your chart. Basically, you're a manifesting generator. You have the whole of the integration channel apart from the 20th gate. And you have a 4816 with a very active throat. There are a number of gates in your throat for expression. And of course, an open solar plex and an open will. So finding your self-worth and being lost in the emotional pain that you've been through is going to be a big issue. I mean, you've got yourself out of it, but it's going to be a big issue, and you're in Chiron. And Chiron is a time of healing, and it's a time of finding your way to flourish, to really blossom. But it's a process. Chiron is really sorting things out before you come to your second Saturn return, and another whole cycle can begin in life. So when we look at the Chiron, we find that the 3635 is there. So this is like a very strong feeling energy, a manifestor channel, based in crisis, and expressing that out through the 35 of, I really feel like a change. So very powerful emotional definition coming. At the same time, the 22 comes to meet your 12. So again, we have 2 manifestor channels taking part in your Chiron cycle. And to me, That means that you should be keeping on doing what you're already doing, which is feeling the tenderness and feeling the pain and getting through it. There is inner work to be done. And as a past addict, you know, hiding things, keeping things secret is all part of the game that is not going to serve you well. Why? Because you're on the cross of dominion. It's for you to take power. It is for you to take dominion over your territory. And your territory right now is the pain that you're feeling about your family and the separateness of being away from them. You can no longer get lost in that. It's coming back to you. It also brings the 24 and the 43 and the 23 into your chart, linking to your 61st gate. So this is like a knowing that comes through, an individual structured knowing that you meet and you are educated by during this time. In a way, this is what human design is for you, but it's also a way for you to see with your expressive gates. You can write, you can tell stories, you know, you can bring out your own techniques to deal with the painful process you're going through. I mean, go into it, and then you can externalize it. The cross of tension that is your Chiron cycle is in the 4-6. This is about externalizing it, getting it out there, perhaps making it uncomfortable for people when you bring them the truth. And the moon in the Chiron is in the line of honesty. The 8 line 1 is about, you know, you're going to bring the collective into your creation through being honest, not through being secret, not through hiding in the shame and like, you know, this is my past and I want to keep it there. Use it to go deeper, use it to bring something useful out to people so you can help them with your pain. And the only way to do that is to go into it. That's what I would say to you. You can be very eloquent. You can be very good with words when they come through you. I mean, the ajna itself is completely open. There isn't a single gate in your ajna. So conceptually, you're picking up ideas all the time. You know, they may not be in any particular order because you can see things from so many different perspectives, but that's exactly where the stream of knowing can be very useful for you, because you can take the ideas from anywhere and bring it into your structure in a way that is healing for you, that gives you the power to take dominion over your past, and in that sense to create a territory for you that is yours, your take on how it is, your take on moving through addiction, your take on dealing with the scattering of your family. You're a 6-2 profile. It's about you being in your own integrity. It's about being a role model of yourself. And if you want to bring in a new material stream for yourself and to own your territory, then monetize it. I suggest you do that possibly through writing. That seems to be the most logical way forward. You know, you have internal markets as an environment. So in your own home, in your own process, to begin to write out what it is that's really meaningful and useful for you can be useful for others as you center into yourself and really get to grips with what it is, you know, to go into it in order to get through it, to express what comes up as in that process. That, I reckon, would be a good way forward for you. Okay, well, I hope that's been helpful, and I hope the viewers have enjoyed this. And if you have, please like, share, and subscribe. And I shall be back again very soon with something completely different. Bye for now.